Hey, right, welcome back to my brief instructions on how to use the K40. I don't know if you've watched any of my previous videos. If you have, you have. If you haven't, you haven't. But this is one slightly out of order because I've had a few inquiries about the bed that I fitted. People have noticed when I've shown them the K40 that I've got a different type of bed in there. The bed is the thing that you lay your object on for the laser to scan over. So when I used this previously, you have to find out how big the area was, because I particularly wanted to print onto A4 size because that's the size of the laminates that I use were this size, 6 inches by, they're the ones, and I put 2 laminates on each one. So I had to find that. So what I did was, have I got to show you how to suck sweets? I'm not sure. The thing is, I worked out with the X and the Y the biggest area I could have, and that was it. And then I had to build a plate because the bed that they give you is totally, absolutely useless. And the only place it should go is in the bin, in the bin. Get rid of it, okay? So what I did, now, I went on and checked loads of other people on the internet to see what type of beds they used. Most of them used a wire mesh. One guy used a wire mesh system. Another guy, he made loads of pointed things with his 3D printer and sort of laid them on there to keep the object, because I'm not doing a solid object like lump. I'm not cutting wood or anything. I'm actually doing it similar to paper onto a laminate, so I've got to support it. So what I decided to do is I had to get some way of supporting this level. Now, me being careful with this, thought, how can I do this? So this is what I came up with. Now, you can laugh, I don't care. You can take the mickey and say, what a silliest thing he's ever done. But it works for me. And really, to be honest with you, that's all that matters. If it works for you, it does. If it doesn't, it doesn't. So what I did, so what you've got to do is you've got to create a bed to lay your piece of paper on or your laminate on that's going to keep it perfectly flat, right? So when the laser comes, it cuts it. But then you don't want nothing behind it, because if you was to lay that on wood, you would then get a singe mark from the bit underneath, because that's going to burn, because the laser doesn't stop burning exactly. The laser carries on burning all the way down through. So you've really got to try and suspend this bit of paper in midair, because you want a clean burn either side. Does that make sense? Anyway, so that was the problem. So what did I come up with? Well, so I got to support this piece of paper level. Which is this, you see. So what we've got to do, because you can't have it like that, because then the laser won't cut straight, so you've got to support it level. So anyway, yeah, I know you're all excited. You can't wait to see what I've got, what I'm going to bring out of here. You'll be amazed. And it cost me next to nothing to build, because that's the most important thing. So let's show you what I came up with, okay? Right, let's take it out. Here it is. There it is. Hang on, I'm just going to put it back together, and I'm then going to move the camera so you can see exactly how it works. Right, so what did we do? Right, so obviously you've got to work out, let me turn the camera down so you can actually see it. Here it is. This is, sorry, there we go, there it is. That is it. Let's turn it round that way, you might realise it's better. Right, so what we did, we worked out the focal. Let me get in the picture so if I can explain how we got to that. Obviously, with the previous bed, hang on, let me just turn the gimbal around now. So with the previous bed, I knew exactly how high off the deck the centre of the laser was. Can you see it? Because I think, though it does come parallel, there's an optimum point. So we worked that height out, right? And then I made a piece of wood that fitted in the square, because I took all the other gubbins out and just left that gubbins in there, okay? And then we got a piece of wood, which is this piece here. Let me turn it over for you. Can you see it from there? Anyway, so then what we did then was what I did then was I supported that piece of wood with, let me just say, well, let me just show you this way. With, I don't know if you can see, these are just big 3-inch bolts with wing nuts on. Can you see? So I've got a wing nut that side and a wing nut that side. So I've got 2 wing nuts on it. So what I theoretically I can do is I can adjust the height of the bit of wood just by turning these up and down, and I've got it on all 4 corners. So then we finished up with this piece of wood, which is only a cheap piece of plyboard, okay, which we put in the laser printer. So we put it in there, right? And then we went to the software, okay, and I made the biggest square that the laser would print. So once I got that printed out and I knew the area, right, it was quite easy to say, well, that was the area it was going to print on. So then what I had to do then was remove the wood underneath, because what I didn't want the laser to burn the wood, to burn the paper or the laminate underneath, and you get a brown mark on it, because you don't want a brown mark. Though I'm thinking that I could have possibly left that wood solid, but then it still would have burnt and created more smoke. So it's best to let it disappear into the base of the thing. So then therefore, we then made that square. I'm not explaining this very well, but anyway. So we made that square like that, okay? And then what we did, we then cut the hole out. So we had a hole in there. So then we finished up with a piece of wood with a hole in, okay, which was the, shall we call it the object area, where the object would lay in. These don't normally fall out. I know, no, right. So therefore I thought, well, that's brilliant. That is. So that's got me that area. And so next stage was, how can I support the laminate? You see. So what I was going to do was I was then going to put some wires across, just round galvanised wires. And I tried that, but the trouble was they sagged and it didn't work. And and I just had to go away and have a long think. And I had to use something that was thin, non-reflective, that could support the paper. And then I was going to use, I had this aluminium angle stuff here. I don't know if you can see it. So I had this aluminium stuff. I think it was from something that else to use. So I thought, well, what I could do then is I'll just put rows of that aluminium stuff, an angle iron, up and down, up and down, up and down, and then I can lay it on the aluminium. And I thought, yeah, I suppose I could do it, but why should I? Why? Because the aluminium is quite thick, and you're going to get burnt. I thought, I need something thinner. And believe it or not, I was cutting the aluminium with my hacksaw. And I looked down and I thought, hacksaw blades? Why don't I use hacksaw blades? So this is what we finished up with. So therefore we then made a frame. We put one piece of aluminium down the bottom. Let me just show you. One piece of aluminium there, and one piece of aluminium there along that hole, right? And then we cut slots in it. Now, the first one I did, which was a bit silly, I cut the slots square, which wasn't such a good idea, because if you was cutting a line and the line was bang on top of the axle, you would then burn the axle. So what I decided to do was actually offset the blades. So I don't know if you can see that. So I slightly offset them. So I created a square size there, so the laminate or the piece of A4 fits perfectly in that square. If you can see that there, can you see like that? So that fitted perfectly on that square like that, and of course the blade supported it, and it was quite solid, which worked. So then I put a little bit of foam. I don't know if you can see it there, which I could just clip the laminate underneath so it doesn't rise up. And because in the end I was doing, I did quite a few of these laminates, so instead of buying sheets, which wasn't the most economical way, I bought it in rolls. And the only trouble is with the roll laminate, it's got a bend in it. So of course when I laid it down here, there was a slight bend. So what I had to do was create a bit of a weight on this side here, and there's another piece of metal laying around somewhere, which I've lost, of course, which I will show you in a minute. Here it is, which I just laid on there like that, which stopped the laminate running out. So basically, that's what I did to create a bed. Now, yes, it does work because it's solid. Do you follow me? Because these are only ½ inch. Hacksaw blades. How much are hacksaw blades? You know, you buy 10 hacksaw blades for a couple of dollars. You know, and they just fitted in there, and I just just cut grooves in with the blades, and I just laid them in there. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20. 22 blades. So well, obviously I bought 24, didn't I? I must have 2 spare. But the beauty of it is, if this didn't work, I'd have had loads of spare hacksaw blades, wouldn't I? So I could have gone cutting away. So that's what I finished up with. Now this obviously works perfectly well for what I do, because I can adjust this focal length with the wing nuts perfectly. So I've got pinpoint accuracy right on there. So I get a beautiful clean cut. Now, if I was to cut something like a piece of wood or something, then yeah, it would be a little bit higher. Yes, you still get a good cut because I know a laser light is perfectly square, but I like that. So you could always adjust it up and down. But for this system worked for me. And yeah, all I can say is that you know, this is what I come up with. If any of you out there can think of a better idea, I'm always welcome, because I didn't have to install any of this air blow stuff or anything, because it's in space. The actual fan actually gets rid of all the smoke on its own quite well. The only thing I do is I leave the lid just slightly open a little bit, an inch, so I can create a through draft through the machine to get the smoke away. I'm thinking of possibly installing a couple of PC little fans, you know, little computer fans on the front, just to blow the air away. But I haven't got that far. So this is the Ted's laser bed. If you want any more information, just ask me, because you know this site and the K40 community, which by the way I found very supportive, people that have been on to me, giving me advice, I pass on my little bit of knowledge, and I am basically very much self-taught. And I mean, you know, I have made so many errors you wouldn't believe it. I haven't burnt myself yet, so that's good. So so there you go. We're going to go back now that I've explained that, because people wanted to see how that worked, and I will show you a video on how it works. So we sort of jumped into this because I had lots of inquiries about the bed, but I'm going to go back now to how I loaded the software, doing the software, and making out my original plans on what I did, because the end result again is to produce something like that. That is what we're after. And as I say, this is the end result. So thanks for watching. I know I rabbited on a bit too long, as usual. If you've enjoyed it, you know what to do. If you didn't, But if you did, please subscribe. All helps. My target is, I think, on this channel, which covers lots of different subjects, because I'm a jack of all trades. If anybody's watched it, you've got Ted Sailing, the Sailing Junkie channel. You've got this one here, which is now called the Ted's K40 channel. I've got the whirligigs, which is what Laser was all bought for originally, to do the whirligigs, but I've had to stop doing that because I haven't got a workshop anymore. And but if you want any information on the whirligigs, there's loads on the internet. Just go under Mr. Whirligig, you'll find it. But as I said, I've now had to put all the channels together under one banner because I want to try and get to that 1,000 subscribers. Yeah, I have over 1,000 subscribers, but they're all on different channels. So I'm now going through the process of putting all my videos onto one channel, and hopefully all you lovely people that follow me will follow me on the new on Mr. Whirligig, so that I finally get some pennies off Amazon, because they just won't join if anybody's tried channels together, which it's their business model. If I'd have done my research to start with, I would have just launched it all on one channel and not on 3 or 4 different channels, which I thought would have been ideal. You know, the sailing channel covers my journey in buying a boat and learning how to sail, which is what I do at weekends. I don't watch telly. No, what I do is I play with things, and of course I've got my little, well, it's not a travel channel. It's just the journey, my journeys where I go places, and I do a few videos on that. Anyway, I've rabbited on far too much about me rather than the K40. Enjoy the K40. It's great bit of kit. We meet you again, and we discuss a bit more. I might even, if there's enough. Is do a few live broadcasts showing you the actual process of designing in Inkscape, altering the design to fit what we want to do, downloading it, transferring it over to K40, yeah, loading K40 40 up into the laser printer, showing you how I set the laser printer up to copy it, showing you, the power to the laser, which is quite crucial, and things like that. So I'm going to run for all that. But it'd be over lots and lots of videos. So if you enjoy it. Don't forget, most important, I've rabbited on far too long. Bye. Be good. Be happy. Don't forget. Please subscribe. And most important, be kind to the animals. Thank you. Bye.